Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to do a little whip and chat. As you can see, I'm working on the Snow Queen. This is how much I've gotten done on it. I'm just writing here is where I'm working now, but I've completed all this right here. So that's where I'm at. I should be done, and I'll be done by this time next week. I'm probably going to be done here in about 3 or 4 days. It just depends on how much I get to diamond paint. The weekends I get to diamond paint more because I don't have my grandbabies, but you know, during the week I babysit them at night, so I don't get to diamond paint at night. But I'm an insomniac, and so it just depends on if I want to get up out of bed or not. I went to bed at 2 o'clock, and it's 5 till 5 now in the morning. So, yeah, I got about 2.5 hours sleep. I'm tired. But we're going to do this. I'm going to pull this back some and get a better look for myself. There, y'all can see that. And then I got to turn on my iPad. I'm going to try this a little lower so y'all can maybe see. Go up one. Can't tell what number, what I'm working on. Okay, I got to go up another one, guys. I'm blind as a bat. Okay, we'll try this. I normally have to do it full blast, but I want y'all to be able to see, but I know y'all seeing a lot, just a big outline of my iPad right here. I guess I could change colors and work on 310s because 310s will be easy to see. Let me get my 310s out. So I hope everybody's having a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're from. It's been stormy here. The other night, or the other day, we ended up having to pack our bags in case we had to leave. There was they let school out for the day. That's how severe the weather was supposed to be. And it got pretty bad. There was 12 tornadoes that touched down in Oklahoma that day, and there was quite a bit of damage. You know, people lost their homes and cars. Lost everything they had, and I know exactly what that feels like because this is on the anniversary of the May 3rd tornado of 1999. And that's the year me and my girls were in the bathtub, and we looked up and all there was sky. We lost everything we had. You know, and it's the little things that you think of or you don't think of until you lose them. You know, I lost the kids' Social Security card. I lost their birth certificates. And, you know, you always want their first one, you know. It's, you know, because if you lose it and then you have to replace it, it's not as special as the first one. I had lost all of them. I had lost all my pictures, every single one of my pictures. And this was before cell phones. It wasn't before cell phones, but it was the flip phones that were popular then. They were just, you know, coming out. This is 99. You know, it's like I said, it's things you don't think of, like your spices in your kitchen, you know, jewelry. This is the year the new quarters come out that had the state on them. I was collecting every state, and I had 35 of them, and lost every one of them. Of course, that's not a big deal, you know. It was just me collecting, and you know, a few bucks and change. I had been at work, and the boss shut down work, told us to go home, and I got home just in time to crawl in the cellar, or crawl in the bathtub. We lived in an apartment at the time. That's one time me and my husband were separated for real. You know, the separation's a little different than that one was. And got home just in time to get in the tub with my babies, and in it came. Windows blew out. Tub started shaking. We had things thrown on us and falling on us and everything else. And I don't know why God chose to let us survive, but there was 7 people killed in my apartment complex, and the most damage that, you know, as far as me and the girls being hurt, I had scratched my arms and had to get a tetanus shot from digging out from underneath the debris. Once it was over with, we couldn't get out, and it was hard to move the debris because it was just us in the bathtub. Everything had fallen in on us, so it was quite hard, because when we dug out, we had to dig out and push out from the top, or from the bottom. We'd have to push up like that to try to get stuff off of us. And so I scratched my arms up. And then my oldest daughter had some type of debris cut her forehead, not her forehead, the top of her, can't even get my things right today. Cut the top of her head a little bit. It bled a little bit, but not too bad. And then the 2 youngest girls had debris in their eyes, and that was it. My oldest daughter, she stepped on a nail walking out to the road when we finally got out. So me and her both had to have tetanus shots, and they went ahead and gave them to the girls because they had the debris in their eyes, and just to be on the safe side. Neither one of them had had them in a while anyway, so they just gave them to them anyway. You know, it's hard for them to speak up at the time. They were like 3 and 2, so it was hard for them to explain what was going on. Yeah, after the tornado, FEMA came in. My car was an old car. It was, let's just say it was it was pretty bad. It was an awful car. It was the worst car I'd ever had in my life. It's one of the reasons me and my husband separated. He could get nice things, but he puts me in a piece of shit. I don't think so. And the thing is, I couldn't afford a car payment by myself at the time, so I was stuck with it. you know, he was giving me a little money for child support, but that was it. He wasn't helping me pay any of my bills, so I had to work and work hard for what I got. But I was lucky I had a boss that let me work a lot of hours. And just the bad thing about that, it took me away from my girls. I wasn't home as much. And that put pressure on my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, because she was at home having to babysit. After the tornado hit, like I said, FEMA came in. The Department of Human Services come in, and they helped replace our groceries. They had asked me how much groceries I had in the house, and I so underguessed it because I had just gotten groceries. But then you don't think about your spices, your flour, your sugar, your oil, you know, all the staple stuff that you have. And when I configured it, I had just done, you know, like the regular food, you know, the meat and canned goods, frozen vegetables, all that kind of stuff, our fresh fruit. I so underguessed it. But they's like, you have more food than that if you got them 3 girls in there. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. So they end up giving me a food stamp card to help me replace the groceries that we were going to need, even though we didn't really. I was staying with my mom and dad. They were living in an apartment at the time, so it was me and the 3 girls in this tiny 2-bedroom apartment with my mom and dad. So, and it was a different town. It was like a 40-minute drive from where I lived. And so on days I worked, I just stayed in a motel room because it was always late at night because it was a bowling alley that I worked at. I was the food and beverage manager there. So we didn't close till like 2 o'clock. I made the schedule out, so I always worked Friday and Saturday night for sure because that was the best tip night. I made more money in tips that night than I did my regular paycheck. But anyway, I digress. Squirrel. Yeah, 40-minute drive. So I would just normally stay at a hotel 4 or 5 days a week. My husband was getting the kids he would get them and keep them 2 or 3 days. At that point, they had to let school out for the year because people didn't have places to stay. A lot of people were having to go out of town to stay with family and friends. I get some glue in my pen. I should have known about getting that glue in my pen. Yeah, it's a bad deal. We had 12 tornadoes touch down, and we were packed, ready to go, because when I had, I'm shaking the camera. When I had my house built, that was the first thing I put in was a cellar. I put in my cellar before I put in my privacy fence. I didn't care about that privacy fence. They were going to put a cellar in my house, or I wasn't going to live there. But the property that we moved on was actually property that was hit by the tornado. So it was an empty lot. Sorry about moving it. I'm trying to get wax in my... So we got the lot real cheap because the people that had owned it wasn't going to do anything with it. And they had the foundation still there. So they were having to It had been like a year, 2 years, and there wasn't anything built on it, and it had the foundation. So the owner of it had the option of either building or taking the foundation up, and he chose to sell it, so we got it at a cheap, cheap price. He was just ready to be done with it. But we got our house built through Lumbermen's of Oklahoma. There was 12 families that they were building houses for, so it took them about a year and a half to get it built. But by then, me and the girls had gotten an apartment, and we actually got an apartment where we're living at now. They were no deposit. First month was free for anybody that had an address where the tornado hit. So they were really generous to us, and we stayed there for a long time before we got to move into my house. My apartment duplex, there was nothing left of our building except for what fell on us. There was an elderly lady that lived next to us. She was flung out on the concrete and killed. Like I said, she was our next door neighbor. So we survived by the hair of her chinny chin chin, because it got blown down by the big bad wolf. So it was scary. I still have problems when it storms. I pretty much diamond painted that whole day because I was so nervous about these storms. I get that way every time it's there. They talk tornado here in Oklahoma. I don't care if it's up in the panhandle and moving the other way. I'm nervous for everybody else because I know what it's like to go through losing everything, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. One of the things I lost was jewelry that my first boyfriend gave me. I had it since I was 12 years old. He was my first love, my first kiss. Yes, I was 12, too young. But it happened. But he gave me a bunch of jewelry. He was a family friend. We lived about 100 yards from each other, so we were around each other all the time. But anyway, his mother had died, and he gave me a bunch of her jewelry. And one of them was a charm that you could put on a necklace. One of them that interchanged. And in that charm, it was a heart. And in that heart was like a pearl thing that was in the center of the heart. And if you put it up to your eyes, it had the we the people of the United States, in order to form more perfect union, whatever. I used to know that, but that was in the center of it. No, it wasn't that. It was the Lord's Prayer. It was the Lord's Prayer. But yeah, I lost all that. Oh well, we're back to squirrel again. So I prayed for everybody. There was no people killed in these tornadoes. There was people that lost everything, but things can be replaced if if you're lucky enough to live through it. When it comes through to where you're at, things can be replaced. Of course, you do miss the things that you lost, but things are replaceable. And then the next day we had tornado warnings. And yesterday we had tornado warnings. So I've been diamond painting a lot. I think just in the last 3 days I've gotten like 4 inches of this done. No, more than that. Maybe 6 inches. I got 6 inches of this done. I was up here and I got her complete. That diamond come off. Owie, get off there. Yeah, if I can figure out where it come from. That's a straggler. I don't know where it come off at. Because it looked like, what is it? It's one that's in her face. It's a black. That's a 310. I just pulled that off. Oh well. I guess I'll find it when I go through and make my final touches on it. But it's official. My mother is looking into going into a nursing home. So if that happens, I'll be able to move back home with my husband. I really don't want her to go into a nursing home, but she's mentally ready to go because she knows that she's getting to the point where I can't take care of her, which is sad. I just hate the idea of her being in a nursing home. You know, she's good at walking. She's fallen a few times. She broke her arm falling this last year, just like I fell and broke my foot, my collarbone. Yeah, it's real. But she's looking into that, and so I'm thinking here in the next 6 months I might be going back home and living with my husband again, which I'm looking forward to because we don't see each other enough. You know, he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and then he gets home about 5 o'clock. He pulls a lot of overtime. He's a supervisor there, so he's the first one to get there. He turns on the machines and all that. He's the first one that gets there, and he's the last one that leaves. And if they pull any type of overtime, he's got to stay. And right now, they've been in overtime for a long time, so it's like he's not getting home till 5 or so. If he doesn't work any overtime, he's home by 3:30. He gets out of work at 3. But yeah, that would be nice. But I just don't want her going. She can still maintain her medicine and all that kind of good stuff, but she goes into a nursing home, they won't let her do that. That'll be something they regulate. And she knows that. She's okay with that. She's okay with, you know, the meals should be getting. Can y'all? Yeah, y'all can see most of that anyway. Well, that's enough of the tornadoes and stuff like that. My daughter graduates Thursday. Yay. That means Monday's a holiday, so she only goes Monday through Thursday. So she doesn't have school today, so I won't have them today. Monday's Memorial Day, so they don't have school on Monday. So I'll have them Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'll have them 2 more days. And then on Thursday, what they do with the senior class is they do a clap out. So the graduating class has to show up. They don't have to, but no, they do, because they have to get things for their internship. So they go in that day, pick up everything they need, and then the whole entire school lets out to line the hallways, and they clap the seniors out the front door. So her husband is going to have the boys, so I don't have to babysit Thursday. And we're going to go up there and we're going to be a part of that clap out, because I'm so happy that she finished this. Her husband got into some trouble, and so he was in Texas in jail for like 6 months. And this happened right as she started school. So she went to school, she worked full time, and she had them little babies, and it was so rough and hard on her. We had to just keep giving her support and uplifting words. You know, you can do this, babe. You can, think of the better life you'll be able to give them kids with having a better job. And she's a nursing assistant is what she is. And she's so excited. She actually doing her internship at her pediatrician's office. My son, when he was born in 85, he has been our pediatrician since then. And that's her boy's pediatrician. So there's 2 doctors in the office. She couldn't work directly under him because there's a conflict of interest because he sees the boys. But she gets to work under the other doctor. And we're hoping, since they're fully aware of who she is, that maybe they'll need help and hire her on full-time after the internship, because that would be pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool that she got into there. That was her only choice that she made, was them. So if she didn't get in with them, she didn't know where she was going to go. But she's decided she wants to work with babies, which I don't blame her. I think out of all the things, I would either do the family practice or pediatrics. My shoulders are so sore from diamond painting so much, but I don't care. I enjoy doing it. Boy, this timer's going slow because I've only been here for 30 minutes. Trying to think of what else to say. I haven't been into many live chats this week. I've been busy watching videos. There's not as many out there as what I thought there would be. But I don't know. I just haven't gotten into the lives. I want to remove this. This is a big blue one. Like, light blue right in the middle of where a red one should be. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. There's where the other one went. There it is. And I already put that one aside. Yeah, it's not in my tray. Not in my tray. Oops. You know, my grandbabies are always cute doing things, but I haven't done anything that they normally don't. I still love it when the oldest one says it's disgusting. It's an awful big word for a 3-year-old. Awful big word. He is actually going to go into pre-K next year because he'll turn 4 in July. So he'll get to go into pre-K. Because they take so many. I'm hoping she gets him signed up for it. But she said she was. So if he goes to pre-K, he'll have 2 years of pre-K. So he should be pretty smart by the time he reaches kindergarten. But here in Oklahoma, you can be in pre-K at 4 if your birthday falls at a certain time, and he's right there at the cutoff. So he's going to be a young 4-year-old. You know, he'll turn 4 in July, and then school will start in August. So he's right there at the cutoff, which is good. And he could probably go into pre-K or kindergarten at 5, but she would rather him have pre-K for 2 years, which would still keep him within his age range. So she has the 2 options of letting him go to pre-K 2 years or pre-K 1 year and then into kindergarten. I don't know. It's weird. Weird from when my kids went to school. My kids went to school. There was a head start when they were 4, and then they just went into kindergarten. And the head start was just basically showing them how they're supposed to act in school, you know, by sitting down, doing the Pledge of Allegiance and the Lord's Prayer and I hope he does good in pre-K. But the teacher and Elizabeth will decide if he's to the point where he's ready for kindergarten or not. He might be too young to really get anything done for a while. It might take him a while to get it done, and they say, hey, he's just not where he should be. And, you know, that's okay too. That's okay too. Finally getting my car tag. I didn't know it was expired, and my husband didn't know it was expired. And so I've been driving around with a year and a half. Yeah, you heard me right. A year and a half with no valid tag on my car. If we get stopped, they're going to tow that sucker. Then I have the towing fees and everything else. So I'm going tomorrow to get my tag on that. So if y'all were wondering why I hadn't done a post review, oh, just a second, my eye itches. Squirrel. Oh, it's I lost where I was going. I forgot. I have them moments all the time. Yeah. I go to think and go to say something that just leaves my brain. Has it ever happened to y'all? I'm sure it happens to some people every now and then, but it happens to me quite a bit. And that's just because of my health issues that I've had in the past and the permanent damage it's done to my brain. I forget a lot. Well, quite a bit. I can do something one day and not remember what I did. But then the next day I might remember something when I was 6 years old. It just depends on the day. Because if I remember something that happened when I was six, the next day I might, what are you talking about? Oh, that's me. That's me. It's me. It's Ernest T. Oh, we're only into this 36 minutes, so I'm hoping to be here for just, about 10, 15 more minutes because it's a little shorter than I wanted it. A little shorter than I wanted it, but kind of out of things. I had wrote down some things that I wanted to talk about, but my grandbaby must have got a hold of my paper because it's gone. I looked for it before I started this video because there was some things I thought I'd talk about. It gave me like three other things to talk about other than what I hadn't wrote down, because what I talked about today was something that, popped in my head, because of the tornadoes. Yeah, I think there will be just too much quiet going on for me, and I just don't want to string y'all along, handing out crap, putting out crap, I want my videos to have meaning and, actual things where you can get to know me, and I hate when that happens. Had a rogue diamond on my pen. That one's upside down. There's that one. There's that one. And down here is the third one. The beep, 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 beep. Go in here. In between diamonds. That's not going to let me in there. I'm going to have to move that one out of the way. There we go. And then move that one back. Well, that was a pain in the butt. So I've worked on this a little bit. Let me turn the iPad off. And just working on 310s. And this is a Diamond Art Club Mandy Manzano piece. So there's a lot of 310s. I just work on 310s until I get tired of it. And then I'll start another color and do a couple more colors. And then I'll start back on the 310s. And when I get caught up on the 310s, I'll work on other colors. And then I'll get behind on the 310s again. But anyway, I digress. Let me show you. Show you where I'm at. we're right at 40 minutes, so this is her again. There's a good look at her. I've gotten the 310s done from here to here, all the way up. I got her arm, part of her shoulder, down here under her arm, and then part of the way here, and then I was starting her outline of her dress. So I'm going to do 310s for a little bit, and then go start on the 5200s, because there's quite a few 5200s in here. You can see all the white up in here. One thing I haven't liked about it is right in here, it doesn't seem to blend very well. Another loose diamond. Yeah, it doesn't blend it very well, because there's a light sea green right here, and you can tell the difference. It doesn't blend very well. This side blends a little bit better. It's another 310. Oh no. Why? You know how you do this and you get them little corners that stick up? I've just gotten 3 doing this. There. No more. Hasta la vista, baby. But I'm going to get off here for now. I know this is only, a 40-minute video, but I'm just kind of done with what I was going to say today. My baby's lost my paper, so I don't know where else to go, so I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your butt. I'm going to get out of here, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get notifications of future videos. I had to think of that. So, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.